Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. Again, this is a topic that's a continuation. Some people ask me, hey, why are you still discussing the Stephen A. Smith thing? The reason I'm still discussing the Stephen A. Smith thing is because more information is coming out. And with new information, new things that I'm seeing, I'm having new thoughts. So I'm going to talk about it. The simple solution is if you're not interested in the Stephen A. Smith content, simply don't click on it. If you want some of our other content, you just have to hold on. When the time is appropriate, we'll cover other things. But for now, we think this is the bigger story, hence the reason we're covering it. So let me get into the nitty gritty of this particular thing. As you guys know, the Josh Giddy scandal that no one wants to talk about, we're one of the few people. It's really being covered by people in the independent space, which is quite interesting, right? The independent space is covering it. Not big media, not new media, but the independent media is the one that's really tackling this story, which is quite surprising, and it shows you the importance of independent media. Because new media, they're also tied to certain interest groups. You have old media, they're also tied to certain interest groups, but independent media, when you're not tied to anyone and you're kind of, going off of your own steam, then you don't feel as beholden to other corporations to speak your piece. And it's one of the reasons you're seeing this information is being covered by a lot of independent media outlets out there. So we were one of the people kind of clamoring initially when the story came out for Malika Andrews to make a comment because of her her consistent behavior going after black athletes. So we did that. ESPN forced her to go out there and read something on the teleprompter. She did that. Stephen A. Smith then kind of gave his reasons as to why he wasn't covering the story. And the fundamental reason, based on what he said, was the reason he's not covering the Josh Giddy story is because he's afraid of being sued. That he doesn't want to go out there and state any facts that are wrong or speaking in an accusatory tone and then end up catching a lawsuit. And some of us was like, okay, we understand that. Thank you for the advice, but we're not asking you to go out there and accuse him. What we're asking you to do is cover the story. Talk about the story. Say such and such occurred. Are you guys aware? This is what's happening. That's it. No one is asking you to accuse anyone or anything like that. That would be quite foolish. So he took his position on that, and he said that he's waiting for all of the facts to come out. Then Stephen A. Smith then took it to the next level. After former NFL player Des Bryant called on Malika Andrews, he went on his show to defend Malika Andrews, which absolutely confounded all of us. We're like, wait, what is going on here? And then Stephen A. Smith was on the show talking about he doesn't understand the reason that Malika Andrews is receiving all of this backlash, which further confounded the rest of us. Like, what do you mean you don't understand what's going on? So that was that. Then what happened yesterday, minding my business, and then some people started to message me on Instagram. This is the reason why I say follow me on Instagram, or Dreamers Pro. Instagram is the same name as the channel, Dreamers Pro. My personal Instagram, CTABANZ. And so some people started messaging me saying, Von Miller. And I'm like, wait, Von Miller, what? What's up? So I click on it, one of the links, and it takes me to a clip from ESPN First Take. And apparently what had happened was a report had broke that Von Miller, the NFL player, had basically been accused of allegedly assaulting his pregnant girlfriend or fiance, I don't know, his pregnant girlfriend. And ultimately he decided to turn himself into authorities. So what happened was they broke their show because of this breaking news and decided to cover the story. So what we want to do is we want to quickly play what Stephen A. Smith and Molly Kerm and these guys had to say on ESPN First Take about the Von Miller situation. And then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what they had to say on ESPN.
Reported this morning that an arrest warrant has been issued in Dallas for Bills linebacker Von Miller for allegedly assaulting his pregnant girlfriend. Here's the statement from the Bills this morning. We were made aware of an incident involving Von Miller. We are in the process of gathering more information and will have no further comment at this point. All right. Stephen A.
First things first. We don't know all the facts. We heard this report. Obviously, an arrest warrant being issued is a very, very serious matter. Without knowing anything, let's just make sure we make this general statement that everybody at this table will agree with. Keep your hands off women. Do not put your hands on women if you are a man, period. Let's get that out the way. Having said all of that, on a separate issue, there's something going on in the NBA with Josh Giddy. And what I've said and what numerous others have said is we don't know all the facts. So if we have to take that position with him, with allegations of dealing with a minor, and we want to sit up there and say, wait until we have all the facts, same thing to Von Miller. But it does not look good for him to be in this situation. There is nothing good about this for him, nor the Bills, nor society as a whole with all the nonsense that we're having to deal with in this day and age. Do not put your hands on a woman.
Nor
That's all I
the
have to say.
pregnant girlfriend or the future child,
Yes.
if true.
Yes. If
I mean,
true. Yes.
It's, again, we don't have the facts. It's disturbing from off the field, but when you talk about, again, if you just keep it on the field, the Buffalo Bills and what they're trying to do in the state of their season, Von Miller being a leader on this team, an integral part of this team, but beyond that, I would look at him as sort of like an elder statesman of the game. And for this to come down, it is troubling. It's troubling, especially, you know, the Bills have had sort of issues before with kickers and stuff like that. Now, we don't know how this will be resolved, but you just want to keep things about football. When these things happen, now you're looking at a guy, you don't know what's going to happen here. You don't know. This is a huge month for this team, and it is disturbing.
Yeah, listen, I echo a lot of what Stephen A. said, first and foremost, you know, with as far as keeping your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, come on. You shouldn't even have to be saying these things in this day and age. You would think,
Right.
with all, you know, all these type of incidences that keep happening, like, keep your damn hands to yourself, number one. Without all the, you know, we're so light on facts right now. You just got to let the process play itself out. But more important, I mean, for me, I look at on the field, because that's where I think we can definitely talk about.
Right.
It's the last thing Buffalo needs right now. I mean, you're sitting here at 6-6, you're 10th place in the AFC, you're fighting for your playoff lives, and now one of your quote-unquote leaders is now caught up in a potential domestic violence situation. That is not
Which
where you
we
want.
all condemn.
Yeah,
Realize the gravity of that.
It's just ridiculous, and it's just very unfortunate for, you know, not only the two parties involved in the situation, but for the Buffalo Bills as an organization.
Honestly, my thoughts and hope and prayer is that the woman and the child are okay.
Okay, yeah.
That's where my mind immediately went to. And then, you know, if the allegations become to be true, then the NFL is going to have to handle it the proper way, in a pretty extreme way as well. Because I'm with Stephen A. Everyone, like, you, no matter what the situation is,
You cannot.
you do not touch
Yeah.
a woman.
Yeah.
I hope
It's putting
she's okay.
two people in danger.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm right where you are.
So you heard what he had to say there. Let me tell you guys something. At this particular moment, I'm actually confused. I'm confused. I'm really, really, really befuddled at what is taking place in front of me. Like, what is really going on right now? Like, what exactly is going on? What kind of hypocrisy is this? First of all, the news broke on ESPN First Take. If you heard the panel discussing the news, now it sounds like some very, very disgusting information that came out about him allegedly this and this. But based on the way that they were talking, you could already see, like, as if you could already tell that they've come to a conclusion, especially Molly Karam. It's like they already came to the conclusion that he did it and he's this despicable human. That's the same thing with the Kevin Porter Jr. Case. And now we're hearing that the girl is saying that he didn't do this and he didn't do that in various reports. But when the case initially broke, Stephen A. Smith was the first one that said he needs to be in jail. That's what Mr. I need more facts. The moment the case broke, he said if these allegations are true, he needs to be in jail. Notice the operative word, allegation. Alleged, allegation. He's been alleged to do such and such. In the case of Josh Giddy, he has been alleged to be having a relationship with a minor. We also know that the girl's family is refusing to cooperate, with police officials. All alleged. Nothing has been confirmed. We also know that the NBA is still conducting an investigation. But for whatever reason, in the case of Kevin Porter Jr., in the case of Von Miller, they've already seemed to come to some conclusion. But in the case of Josh Giddy, we're still waiting for the facts to come out. And what I'm noticing is this, and I gotta call out all the big boys on this. Why are none of the big voices touching on this story? I must ask the pertinent question. Where are all the big voices in sports media when you need them? I'm sorry, I don't want to talk about what such and such said about Meg Thee Stallion. I don't want to talk about what this and this couple said over here. I don't want to talk about frivolous things. I don't follow that type of news. I don't care about it. I don't care about it. For me, listen, the type of news that I follow, and I'm not saying this in a sanctimonious way, but the type of news that I follow is, number one, news that is directly related to my work. So if I'm watching a podcast, if I'm watching something that doesn't pertain to something that I can do, for instance, Shannon Sharp just recently interviewed Trevor Ariza. I was watching that because some of that content can't be related to some of the work that I do. So in this case, I have to listen to what these people are saying. I don't care to listen to these frivolous, stupid high school conversations about talking about what such and such girl said or what he said. Oh, he want to sleep with this person. I don't care to know about that. And in a moment like this, when you guys have such massive platforms, it would be refreshing to hear you guys talk about something that's also substantive. I get it. These things get a lot of views. Talking about this person, talking about these stupid topics. Oh, who would you sleep with? What if you slept with there? What you did? I get it. It gets a lot of views. But can we get to the substance, please, too? Can we have some substance? Why aren't any of the big platforms covering the serious issues? It almost seems like it's a way to distract people by talking about frivolous things. I'm sorry, it doesn't appeal to me. In my daily life, if you met Marco, if you met my wife, I talk about ideas. Now, me and my wife may have some conversation about some people here and there, but for the vast majority, we're talking about ideas. For the vast majority of the time. I seldom sit down and be discussing people. Oh, did you hear what so-and-so is doing? I don't care about that. There are no ideas. There's no ideas being exchanged. Nothing can come from that. No business, no nothing. No nothing. So to hear these guys talk about one frivolous, stupid topic after another, and you can't hear any of them talk about the serious issues, really also points out what you guys are all about. It's quite surprising to me. None of y'all are talking. Nobody? None of the big voices? Nobody? But let it come to be some stupid topic, then everybody wants to talk about it, which seems to me like one big distraction. It's quite surprising. And in Stephen A. Smith's case, I don't know what you're talking about at this point. The fact of the matter is, the news just broke on ESPN First Take. It just broke. Why are you covering it? Why don't you wait for it to be a known fact that, yes, he assaulted his pregnant woman? Then we can know. Then we can talk about it. But in this case, you're talking about, oh, there's an investigation. Well, isn't there an investigation still going on in this matter? Wasn't there still an investigation going on in the Josh Giddy matter? Wasn't there Malika Andrews an investigation still going on with the Ime Udoka? So, but you guys had no issue discussing that. To me, the whole thing is a joke. It's a whole flat out joke. As somebody that sits up there and hollers about, this is my podcast, this is my show, ESPN First Take is my show. We'll talk about the substantive issues. Don't pick and choose. God knows if this was Kyrie Irving. Yaha. This particular show has no format. Usually, before we produce content, I usually sit down and kind of go through my thoughts before I decide to say, okay, let's produce this particular topic here. But this one, I just want to speak more from the heart and more from my chest. Listen, this Josh Giddy situation has me questioning a lot of things. Has me questioning the way sports media is being covered, and is really showing me who's free and who's not. A lot of people like to talk about, oh, I'm my own boss and all of this stuff. I'll forget all of that. When it comes time to say what you really think, then we'll know if you're your own boss and you're truly free. Very few people are truly, truly free. Very few people. One of the people that I do admire, and we're going to have him on the show next week, is Marcellus Wiley. We're going to have Marcellus Wiley on the show And we're going to be talking about that situation that came up. I already mentioned it to him, so he's fully aware of that. And what I respect about Marcellus is that he's willing to go there. He's willing to go there. He's willing to have the uncomfortable conversations. And even if it means going at one of his peers, then he'll do it. And I respect that about him. He's not up there about twerking it up and protecting this guy. As he says, I'm never going to protect. What is it? He's always going to. He's not going to suffer the fools or whatever. That's what he says. He's all about letting the truth speak. And I've been looking at this coverage of this Josh Giddy matter. And I'm quickly beginning to realize that there's a lot of politics that goes into sports media. A lot of politics. We like to think that it's an even playing field when in reality it's not. It's not. There's certain things you can say and there's certain things you cannot say. I've also noticed that there's certain people in media that we have decided are always going to be villains. And there are other people in media that we've decided that are always going to be heroes. And as I'm thinking about this Josh Giddy situation, a few things are on my mind. One of them is this. I just recently sat back and listened to Stephen A. Smith talk about the reason why he's refusing to cover the Josh Giddy stories because none of the facts are out and there's still an ongoing investigation. And yesterday, we see them stop their show, ESPN First Take, to report that Von Miller had allegedly assaulted his pregnant girlfriend or wife or whatever it is. And recently, he just turned himself into authorities. And after the news broke, they figured out that they had enough information to cover that story. But the Josh Giddy story, they have yet to cover it because they're still waiting on more information, which to me exposes the blatant hypocrisy. And as I'm thinking about it, I began to think of, what if instead of Josh Giddy, it was Kyrie Irving or maybe LeBron James? But in this particular example, let's focus on Kyrie Irving. What if it was Kyrie Irving that was being accused of having a relationship with a minor? What would the coverage be? Well, we recently put up a poll on our channel about an hour or so ago, and I asked the question. I said, what if Josh Giddy was LeBron or Kyrie Irving? What would the response be from the media, for the media? First option was they would wait for the facts before covering it. The second option was it would be all over the news every hour. Of the 1,200 people that have voted in the past hour, 89% said it would be all over the news. Some said it would definitely get covered if it was Kyrie Irving with the exact same situation. He said, hell, or the person said, hell, if she was 18, they would still make assumptions about Kyrie Irving. And that was the reoccurring sentiment in the comments section. And the reason I believe that Kyrie Irving would have been crucified for this story is based on what we saw take place less than a year ago. Let me just jog some of you guys' memory. Here's what took place a year ago. When Kyrie Irving was a Brooklyn Net, he made a post, right? He posted a film that was apparently about the black Jews or something like that. He posted it on his Twitter. Now, here's the irony. He posted it without really saying anything on his Twitter. Then somehow, some way, this film was picked up, or the media picked it up, and apparently this film had anti-Semitic tropes in it, according to various publications, other news publications that had reviewed the movie. And the minute that news came out, the entire machine kicked in on Kyrie Irving. The entire machine. Nike dropped him immediately. Phil Knight put out a comment and said, we do not abide by people making anti-Semitic statements. And I'm like, when did Kyrie Irving make a statement? What exactly did Kyrie say? All he did was put out a post. Stephen A. Smith, Shaq, Charles Barkley, LeBron James, everybody came for Kyrie Irving. That he needed to be more sensitive about the matter. That anti-Semitism won't be promoted. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, what did Kyrie actually say? On top of that, Nets owner Joe Tsai suspended Kyrie Irving without pay, made him pay, I think, $500,000, and he was forced to go through sensitivity training. This was because of a tweet. Kyrie came back after being flogged by the media and all of these people. And then I sat back and I said to myself, had this been the same Kyrie that was in the position of Josh Giddy, you would have to be deaf, dumb, and blind to believe that the media would not be all over the story, that people would be already coming to conclusions, that they would already decided that Kyrie Irving was guilty. And a certain part of me knows this to be the fact. And I believe a lot of you out there watching this show also know that had this story been about Kyrie Irving, it would have been on the news every hour on the hour. Everybody would have been talking about it because it fits the stereotype, in this case, of Kyrie Irving. And to me, this is what's disturbing. I have nothing against whites. My best friend is white. Marco's he's an Italian. What I am concerned with, though, however, is moral consistency. Keeping it real with yourself, keeping it real with others. If you're going to cover all of these various people, then cover everybody. If you're not going to cover everybody, then don't cover anybody. But for us to witness the juxtaposition of Josh Giddy and Von Miller, and to see how the Josh Giddy situation was immediately covered, and I mean the Von Miller situation was immediately covered, and the Josh Giddy situation is we're still waiting for more information to come out, to me speaks volumes. And the excuses that I'm hearing from these people, quite frankly, do not suffice. Waiting for more information does not suffice. Some people are saying these are two different situations because Von Miller is going into police custody. Let me ask you a simple question. Because he's going into police custody, does that mean that he did it? Help me figure this out. Kevin Porter Jr., he was also, I believe, arrested by the police. Does that mean he did it? Because based on what we're hearing, there are various facts still coming out. There are more facts coming out. So basically that means that every single person that has gone into police custody has been guilty. What are you saying exactly? People are looking for anything to justify their prejudice. Anything. So whoever walks into a police station is guilty. Is this what you're telling me? Is this what we're being told? So we've already decided that Von Miller's guilty. So in this case, you already decided that Josh Giddy is innocent. What would you base that off of? You would say, well, based off of the fact that we don't have more information. Do we have all the information for Von Miller? But you're quite comfortable coming to that assumption. This shows a crack in the system. And to me, it's disheartening to see it. Because now I'm seeing some people not keeping it real. You're not keeping it real. And whenever you now start hollering about black power and all of this stuff, I know that you're only using that as something to serve you in that particular moment. I can never take you seriously anymore. Black power what? I stand up for blacks when? When it's convenient, when it's easy, when there's nothing on the line. It's a damn shame. People making $5, $6, $7, $8 million a year, running and hiding. And I gotta ask the question. As a Nigerian Igbo man, I gotta ask, what y'all be doing with your money? You're making $5 million a year. What do you do with your money? People don't invest it? Well, I don't get it. I was listening to Young Jeezy, to go off topic. Young Jeezy said he looked at hip hop or rap as his hustle to get to his real hustle, which was becoming a businessman. So he went through rap. He's making all of his money as a musician to now invest it into other business to take his business to the next level. And these guys, what are you doing? What are you buying? Cold cuts? What, y'all getting $500 haircuts? What are you doing? Flying private? I don't understand it. If I'm making $2 million a year, I'm looking at my wife right now. If I'm making $2 million a year and I'm not investing at least half of that, and I'm still running around afraid to give my opinion because I'm afraid somebody's gonna take it away. If they take it away, you deserve to have it taken away. What are you doing with your money? You're supposed to be saying yourself. I'm not talking about putting it in the bank. To me, I don't understand any of this. Now let me get into this topic. This topic is a little bit out of our depth because we're normally focused on NBA content, news surrounding the NBA. But in this particular matter, I want to touch on a story that's surrounding the biggest athlete in the world. And in this case, that's Cristiano Ronaldo. He is the most followed person in the world. Some Messi fans will say it's no, that Messi is the biggest, athlete in the world. I would say it's Ronaldo, right? Ronaldo's a pretty big deal for good reason. All for the substance, for what he's accomplished on the pitch. So he's one of the best footballers in the history of that sport. But this morning I was doing some research and I came across some news that, if I'm going to be honest with you, really surprised me, because this news is centered on a $1 billion lawsuit that Cristiano Ronaldo is facing for promoting Binance NFTs. And the minute I came across this story, I said we have to talk about it. And I'm going to tell you guys why we decided to talk about this story today. As you guys know, on our channel, we now have access to some sponsors. And with that access, from time to time, we get presented with this sponsor, that sponsor, this sponsor, that sponsor. And then we kind of go through the process, Marco and I, of saying, okay, do we want to work with this company? Do we want to work with that company? We don't want to work with this company. We do the, we do the research on these various companies, and then we make a decision. Now, we have certain rules that we abide by in terms of organizations we decide to work with. And this is kind of a personal decision where Marco and I's values intersect, and we decided not to do a particular thing, right? So we're very careful about the type of brands we associate ourselves with, but more importantly, the brands we promote. That's the important thing. We try to stay away from certain products, especially financial products, right? Because if they go awry, man, they're going to be holding you accountable for it. And today I want to read from two articles. One of them is from The Athletic. The other one is going to be from The Guardian. And I think these are going to be very interesting articles for you guys that I think you guys are going to enjoy. But before we even get into that, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/DREAMERSPRO. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So let me get into the first article here. Starts off with the headline: Cristiano Ronaldo faces $1 billion lawsuit for promoting Binance NFTs. Continues on. Cristiano Ronaldo has been hit with a class action lawsuit seeking at least $1 billion in damages for his role in promoting cryptocurrency-related non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, issued by the belligerent cryptocurrency exchange Binance. The lawsuit filed in a federal court in the Southern District of Florida on Monday alleges the footballer promotion of Binance was deceptive and unlawful. Binance's partnership with the high-profile figures such as Ronaldo, the plaintiffs claim, led them into costly and unsafe investments. Evidence now reveals that Binance's fraud was only able to reach such heights through the offer and sale of unregistered securities, with the willing help and assistance of some of the wealthiest, powerful, and recognized organizations and celebrities across the globe, just like the defendant Ronaldo, the suit adds. It continues on. Representatives for the Portuguese star, now playing in Saudi Arabia for Al Nassr, declined to comment on Thursday. Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, did not ultimately return requests for comment from the Associated Press. Ronaldo launched his inaugural NFT CR7 collection with Binance in November last year, ahead of the 2022 World Cup. The NFTs, which had starting prices ranging from the equivalent of about $77 to $10,000 featured 7 animated statues depicting Ronaldo from various moments in his life. The suit said the promotional efforts of Ronaldo's Binance partnership were incredibly successful, alleging a 500% increase in online searches using the keyword Binance after the footballer's NFTs were announced. The collection's premium level NFTs sold out within the first week, the suit claims. The suit also alleges that Ronaldo should have disclosed how much Binance has paid him for the partnership. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission previously noted the federal law requires celebrities to publicly disclose how much they are paid to promote securities, including crypto assets. NFTs are ordinary digital images with an attached version number that have been added to a cryptocurrency blockchain, a process designed to make them unique collectibles. NFTs enjoyed a brief boom, but have since largely collapsed in values as the crypto industry has been marred by scandals and market meltdowns. Earlier this year, Binance was accused of operating as an unregistered securities exchange and violating a slew of U.S. securities laws in a lawsuit from regulators. The crypto exchange agreed last week to pay roughly $4 billion in settlements. Its founder, Zhao, stepped down as chief executive and pleading guilty to a felony related to his failure to prevent money laundering on the platform. This week's lawsuit is not the first time a celebrity has faced litigation over crypto promotions. Last year, a host of Hollywood and sports stars, including Larry David and Tom Brady, were named as defendants in a class action lawsuit against FTX, which was the second largest crypto exchange before it collapsed in November 2022. The suit argued that the celebrity status made them culpable for promoting FTX's failed business model. Then finally concludes with, Ronaldo has continued to promote Binance on his official website and social media platforms. More recently, on Twitter, he reposted a Binance video and wrote that he was cooking something up with the crypto exchange on Tuesday. Whew. So that's it. That's just what one article had to say. If I head over to The Athletic, it says why Cristiano Ronaldo is being sued in $1 billion lawsuit by people who bought his NFTs. And this thing just basically says Binance has recently taken a hit to its reputation. Last week, Binance chief executive officer resigned from the company after pleading guilty to money laundering violations. The United States Justice Department also said Binance will be required to pay $4 billion or 3.4 billion pounds in penalties and report suspicious activity to federal authorities. It then says last November, Ronaldo launched a collection of NFTs with the company, the cheapest of which was $77. 1 year later, the cost is about $1. Good Lord. The plaintiffs are suing the 38-year-old in Florida, claiming they made loss-making investments on the back of his social media advertisements for Binance products. It then continues on. The Athletic dug through the 130-page lawsuit to explain the claims against Ronaldo and analyze what it means for the wider issue of footballers promoting controversial investments. Cristiano Ronaldo's representatives did not comment when contacted. Binance also has been approached for a commentary, and basically the article goes on to say what did Ronaldo do by promoting it, etc., etc., etc. You guys can read that and go through all of the information there. That was a bit of a mouthful. So let me get into this. Topic here. This is serious. This is damn serious. Why am I saying this? Because again, whenever you see, it's one thing if you promote something like, for instance, Aura, that you saw in this particular show here, we're helping people protect their identity online. That's one thing. You're not giving any financial advice. Another sponsor of ours, SeatGeek, you're helping people get better deals to go to sporting events and various events like theaters and plays and all that. That's another thing. You have Factor Meals, getting people good deals for various foods that they want to use. At one point, we even promoted Athletic Greens, right? These are low risk promotions, and you're not really giving people any financial advice. The minute you start going into the financial sector, you're now playing a very dangerous game, because you better hope that the product and the company that you're promoting has done their due diligence, number one. And number two, you want to make sure that these companies are ethical and following all of the various guidelines. In the case of this particular company, they didn't do that. Hence the reason the SEC came after them. If you don't do that, what will then happen is you risk being held liable as someone who promoted these products. Because by promoting it, number one, you're saying you've used it. Number two, you're saying it's a good thing. And number three, you should say you should try it based on the fact that I've used it. And people are going to use it because they trust you. And the moment they trust you and you're going out there and promoting all of these things, they're going to say, but I trusted so-and-so person and I was led astray. Now, of course, there can be some counter arguments to that. What's the larger point I'm making here? The larger point is simply this. Number one, every dollar is not for you. Let me repeat that once more. Every dollar in this world is not for you. You can't make all the money in the world. You can't. Sometimes you got to walk away from certain money. Not every money is good money, right? Sometimes it may be better to take $1,000 and you know you're completely covered than go after that $10,000 and you know that there may be some strings attached, right? This is not nothing. This isn't anything new. I don't think it's a Cristiano Ronaldo thing. I think it's a celebrity thing across the spectrum. There have been even YouTubers, like big name YouTubers, that are being pursued as well and sued. So to me, we decided to produce this show as a cautionary tale, also to take you guys under the hood of what we're doing here and to kind of give you guys an understanding of some of our guidelines and why we choose to promote certain things and why we don't promote other things. For us, we try to stay away from that financial stuff. We don't want to lead people in a particular, but this is just me, right? This is just Dreamers Pro. We're not speaking from a sanctimonious position and saying we're holier than thou. No, this is just our position on things, and we're not saying this to say we are the the standard, right? No, we're the moral voice on this. No, this is just our view, and other people are allowed to have other views. To me, I just wanted to share the information with the audience because I think it's some pertinent information.